Why do some people shift the energy of a room without saying a word? It's not magic. It's not charisma. It's a presence, built in silence, shaped in fire. What if your greatest power isn't how loud you speak, but how deeply you don't react? There's a rare strength that doesn't come from muscles or metals. It comes from mastering your storms before they master you. Can you walk through life without needing validation, without flinching at judgment, and still glow in the dark? Then maybe, just maybe, you have what we call a strong aura. 4 signs your aura is strong. First, remember this. There are no flames without friction. No strength is ever born without struggle. And no true aura ever shines without surviving a war. Everything powerful is forged through trials. We live among shadows, but not the kind cast by trees or towering buildings. No, these shadows are ones we cast upon ourselves. They are born from anger, from fear, from pride, and from the quiet yearning to become something greater than what we are now. And yet, among the masses, there are those who are different. They don't need to raise their voices to be noticed. They don't shout to be heard. And when they enter a room, everything shifts, not because they demand attention, not because they fight for the spotlight, but because their very presence silences the space for a heartbeat, like the wind holding its breath, and suddenly, without effort, all eyes are drawn to them. That is the sign of a powerful aura. But what does that really mean? Aura isn't some mystical glow you see in fantasy films. It's not a holy smoke that surrounds the chosen few. A strong aura is the silent weight someone carries when they've mastered themselves. When they've bled in silence. When they've buried chaos so deep within their soul that no echo remains, and yet, that silence radiates a magnetic pull. And now, here are the 4 unmistakable signs that you, too, carry a powerful aura. Sign number 1. You don't react. You take control. This is the first and clearest sign of a powerful aura. You don't react, you govern. It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest lessons a person can learn. Not because we're incapable, but because we've been conditioned to let emotions take the wheel. Imagine this. You're having a regular day. Everything seems fine. You walk into a room, maybe a meeting, maybe a social gathering. Suddenly, someone throws a comment your way, sarcastic, pointed, maybe even insulting. Your heart starts pounding. A flush of heat rises from your chest to your face. Your fists clench, your jaw tightens, and your mind shouts, "They can't talk to me like that." So you snap back, a sharp word, a raised voice, a reaction, and in that moment, it feels good. It feels like power. But a few minutes later, or maybe a few hours, you sit alone. The adrenaline fades, and something doesn't feel right. You begin to reflect. Did I really need to respond like that? Did they deserve my energy? Why did their words get to me so much? And that's when the realization dawns. They didn't actually have power over you. You gave it to them. The strong don't give away their power like that. Those with a powerful aura don't respond from impulse. They don't get dragged into petty battles. They don't let others push their buttons and control them like puppets on strings. When they enter a room and someone tries to provoke them, they remain still, not because they didn't notice, but because they've evolved beyond the need to react. Reacting is instinctual. Anyone can do it. A child can scream when their toy is taken. An undisciplined adult can lash out when their ego is bruised. But to not react, to pause, to breathe, to observe, and then respond with intention, that's mastery. That's strength. A strength that isn't loud, flashy, or boastful, but one that commands silent respect. Seneca once said, "A man is as wretched as he has convinced himself that he is." In other words, our suffering often isn't from the world, but from how we interpret the world. People with strong auras have learned to step back from automatic reaction and instead choose conscious response. They understand that between stimulus and response, there is a sacred space, a space where they reclaim power. While others jump to defend, retaliate, or explain, they observe. While others react, they govern. Imagine this scene. You're in a high-stakes meeting. Someone publicly criticizes you, trying to undermine you. The room falls silent. All eyes turn to you. You could defend yourself. You could retaliate. You could make your voice heard. But a person with a powerful aura does something different. They look at the speaker, calm, collected. Their silence says more than any word could. They're not afraid. They're just watching the situation, watching themselves. They ask inwardly, "Why is this bothering me? What is being touched within me? And does it even matter?" That's not weakness. That's self-possession. Most people view restraint as a lack of power. But those who've walked through the fire and chosen stillness know the truth. Dominance isn't yelling the loudest. It's standing calm while others lose control. Self-mastery is the cornerstone of a powerful aura. We live in a world obsessed with speed, instant reactions, instant gratification. But people with strong auras don't rush. They move slowly, deliberately, not because they are slow-minded, but because they value clarity over immediacy. They know that a silent observation can be more disarming than 1,000 words. Power isn't about winning an argument. It's about being so grounded in your presence that you don't need to. It's about making others reflect on themselves without saying a single word. It's about not needing to explain your value, because your energy already spoke on your behalf. There's a quote that says, "When you react, you are a slave. When you respond, you are free. When you react, you let others set the tone of your life. When you respond, you set the tone yourself." And no one with a powerful aura is easily shaken by outside noise. You are not your emotions. That's one of the deepest truths embraced by the Stoics. Emotions are weather patterns, they come and go. Anger isn't you. Fear isn't you. Shame, envy, frustration, none of those define you. You are the sky, vast, stable, expansive, and emotions are just the clouds. The person with a powerful aura is not clouded by those passing storms. They've trained themselves to feel everything, but act on nothing without clarity. They watch anger arrive, feel its fire, and still keep their hands by their sides. They hear fear whisper, and yet keep walking. That's not coldness, it's sovereignty. Silence, in their world, is not the absence of speech. It is the presence of power. When someone insults them and they don't respond, it's not because they're passive, it's because their energy is too sacred to spend on nonsense. They protect their peace the way warriors protect a fortress. And you may wonder, how do you develop this? No one is born with perfect self-control, but everyone can train it. Every time you feel yourself about to snap, to raise your voice, to clap back, pause. Just 3 seconds. Inhale, exhale. Ask yourself, what part of me is hurting right now? That moment of reflection is the first brick in building your aura. Then ask, will this reaction make me stronger or smaller? If it won't make you stronger, stay still. Let silence speak, not because you're afraid, but because your presence already speaks volumes. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll find yourself less reactive, more observant. You'll listen more than you speak. You'll walk into rooms not needing to impress, but still commanding attention. You won't need validation, applause, or even defense, because you'll know who you are. And that is the true power. People may say, "You've changed." Let them. You have. You've stopped being a puppet. You've become the one holding the strings. And just like Epictetus said, anyone can steer the ship when the sea is calm. But the storm reveals the captain. Life will test you. People will push your buttons. But in those moments, you won't flinch. You won't shout. You'll breathe, and you'll choose. That choice, over and over again, is what separates those who merely exist from those who radiate true presence. One day, you'll enter a room. You won't say a word. You won't try to shine. But the atmosphere will shift. People will pause. They'll feel something they can't quite name. That's the weight of your silence. That's the result of every moment you chose not to react. Every time you sat with discomfort. Every time you observed instead of lashed out. You didn't build your aura overnight. You built it one quiet choice at a time. That's why awareness is your first line of defense. Don't chase every whisper. Don't let your energy be drained by rumors. Instead, anchor yourself in evidence. Hold onto your integrity, yes, but also protect yourself strategically. Keep records, save emails, messages, note timelines and interactions. Keep your truth sharp, your boundaries intentional, and your inner circle curated with care. Most importantly, remember what both Stoic wisdom and scripture remind us. True character is revealed not in moments of chaos, but over time. People might be swayed by gossip for a while, but truth, like the soul, has a way of enduring. So if you sense a shadow always lurking near your conflicts, always present, never named, it's time to stop giving them the benefit of the doubt. Because you're not just facing a manipulator. You're standing toe-to-toe with a strategist of destruction. And the first step to winning that battle? Refusing to play their game. Sign 3. The false friend facade. This is where things take an especially dark turn. This may be the most deceptive and dangerous sign of all. Someone doesn't just secretly dislike you. They may be quietly planning your downfall. This tactic isn't new. In fact, it's one of the oldest strategies in human history. And yet, still one of the hardest to detect because it hides behind kindness. We're taught from an early age that kindness is always a virtue. That warmth and attention are signs of loyalty. But when someone suddenly shifts from a distant acquaintance to an overly invested friend, with no clear history or emotional reason behind it, it's time to pay attention. Not celebrate. They're not trying to earn your trust. They're trying to gain access. What looks like care is often a carefully crafted performance. They begin asking detailed questions about your schedule, your relationships, your fears, even your past traumas. But they're not trying to help you heal. They're collecting data. They grow close to your family. Start showing up at your workplace. Maybe even offer to help with errands or personal matters. But their goal isn't to support you. It's surveillance. And every secret you share becomes a tool in their toolbox. Another pressure point they can use. Another vulnerability to exploit. What makes this tactic so dangerous is that it feels good at first. Someone finally sees you. Someone's listening, understanding, offering help. But behind that comforting presence is a cold, calculated mind, mapping your world with the precision of a surgeon. When your aura is strong, you stop dancing to other people's songs. You stop adjusting your rhythm to match their expectations. You find your own tempo, etched in duty, carved in reason, grounded in integrity. You stop chasing approval. You stop fearing judgment. You become uncontrollable, not because you resist control, but because no one can give or take what you have already earned within. We are not here to entertain. We are not here to bend. We are here to endure and to transform. After you've stopped living for praise or shrinking from criticism, and after you've learned to stand firm in your inner stillness, another sign begins to emerge. One that no one can give you, and no one can take away. The fourth sign that your aura is strong is this: your suffering doesn't make you bitter, it makes you sharper. There is a quiet, unshakable violence in those who smile through their scars. Not because they are numb, not because they've forgotten, but because they refuse to be broken. They've fallen, they've hurt in ways that cannot be explained in words. They've tasted despair, but still, they rise, not in rage, not in noise, but in silence. They rise differently, calm, clear, resolved. There's something deeper behind their eyes. Like they've seen a truth the rest of the world is still too afraid to face. Pain is not the enemy. You see, those with a powerful aura don't let suffering turn them cold. They don't turn their wounds into weapons. They don't lash out. Instead, they let every scar become a signature of their strength, like steel sharpened in fire. Where others collapse under the weight of grief, they stand, not because it's easy, but because they know something sacred. Pain doesn't destroy you. Attachment to comfort does. As Musonius Rufus once said, no one is free who has not mastered himself. The strong don't seek comfort. They don't chase ease or numb the ache with distractions. They seek clarity, even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts, because they know. Every wound is a test, and every test is a forge. A strong aura is not inherited. It is earned through fire. It is etched into the bones during sleepless nights. It is forged in the quiet hours when no one's watching. It is built from every loss, every heartbreak, every fall that could have destroyed them, but didn't. So when the world tries to break you, when life tears you open, don't just survive. Transmute. Turn your pain into your altar. Lay your losses there. Lay your strength there. Offer up the old version of yourself, the one that doubted, feared, ran. Let your past become your power. Not because you've forgotten it, but because you've chosen to rise with it, not against it. You've turned pain into wisdom. You've turned grief into grace. We are not victims of fate. We are fate's sharpened answer. So if you recognize these signs in yourself, if you've chosen stillness over impulse, solitude over approval, purpose over popularity, and transformation over victimhood, then know this: your aura is not just strong. It is unbreakable. But strength is not a destination. It is a daily decision, a path you walk alone, but never in darkness. Here at Stoic Glow, we explore the ancient wisdom that shapes unshakable character. If this message resonates with you, if you're seeking more than motivation, if you're seeking transformation, then this is your place. Subscribe to Stoic Glow for more timeless insights to guide your journey. Like this video if it spoke to your spirit. Share it with someone who's walking their own quiet battle. And remember, you were not made to bend. You were made to rise. Silently, powerfully, stoically.